Hey everybody, welcome back to the farm, and today we are submitting our video for Freeze-Dried February, hosted by Angela, the Inquisitive Farmwife. And you gotta check out all the videos and the playlist, which I'll have in a link in the description box down below. And there's a giveaway on March 6th at 6 p.m. Central Time. And in order for you to be eligible to win, you have to leave a genuine, heartfelt comment on each video, and don't cut and paste because YouTube will think it's spam and they may remove it. So then you won't have a chance to win. There are some really cool sponsors for this collaboration: Harvest Right, Avid Armor, Freeze Drying Supplies, and 4 Jars. And then there's some generous donors: Freezy's Treats, Sophos Survival, This Prepared Life, and the Inquisitive Farmwife. So this year I was really struggling with what to make because we are not candy people. We don't use our freeze dryer for all that fancy stuff. I have done meals in a jar, but basically what we use our freeze dryer for is preserving our harvest. If we get stuff on sale, we also preserve in the freeze dryer, so that way we have it on hand because we're in a rural area. So for us, it's about real food that is convenient and we have it on hand. So I decided when I was making a batch of meatballs for my freezer that I was going to experiment and make some meatballs. So let's check it out. So when I do my meatball batches, these are the Italian meatballs here, and you can see they're a lot larger. And all I did was defrost 3 pounds of meat. This is 2 pounds here. And I follow my usual recipe for meatballs, and then I bake them in the oven, and then I let them cool and put them in the freezer. And they're already cooked. You just have to defrost them, and it makes life so much easier to have meatballs on hand for a quick meal. Now, what I decided to do was take these, and I made them a lot smaller. And the reason why I made them smaller is I didn't want them sticking far up above this tray. And so I thought to myself, let's freeze dry some meatballs. And all I did was add, this is ground beef that we get from a local ranch, and I added salt and pepper to them and shaped them into little mini balls and tried to make them all the same size. I'm going to bake them at 400, and my goal is to have these on hand in the pantry for Swedish meatballs, sweet and sour meatballs, anything that isn't an Italian meatball. And I think that would be really cool. So I am going to bake these all now, and then I will bring you back. The meatballs just came out of the oven. I baked them at 400 degrees for about 15 minutes until they were fully cooked. And I'm going to transfer them, like you would with bacon, onto a paper towel on a plate, and then cover them in paper towels to get any of the excess grease off. So I'm going to do that now. And I'm going to let them sit and cool off, and then I'll bring you back. I have them all on there, and I'm just going to give them a good blot. I'm going to add another paper towel, do the same, let them cool off, and then we will put them on the freeze dryer trays. So now I'm going to start loading my trays. And obviously I can fit more than this on each tray, but this is an experiment, so I'm just going to put what I can here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to let these cool for another minute, and then I'm going to take the whole tray and I'm going to put it in the freezer overnight and then start the freeze dryer tomorrow, and we'll bring you back when we start that. So there are the meatballs on the tray, and I usually fill my trays a lot more than that. However, because it's an experiment, I don't want to waste meat if it doesn't work well. So in order to make a full load, I did take some of my Italian meatballs that were larger and I cut them into quarters, and that way we can have a full load to run. But really, this is what I'm interested in. And the rest of these are going in the freezer, but then I'll know if I can do this moving forward. So what I'm going to do now is put all of these in the freezer overnight, and we'll bring you back in the morning. It is the next day, and all the meatballs are frozen. I had them covered. So we are going to put them in the machine now. Meatballs are loaded. I have my drain valve closed. And I will keep you posted and bring you back. It's a little after 9 o'clock at night, so the pre-freezing saved a lot of time. So I just opened my drain valve. Takes a minute for it to release enough to open. All right, let me get these out on the counter and we'll talk about the next steps. But they look good. So they're all done, and I condensed them down into 2 trays. Again, I would fill them up a lot more when I know that I'm doing a load that works. This was an experiment, but here, listen. They are dry. So I'm gonna put these in the jar and seal it, and then I will leave one out to show you just how dry it is. Obviously, this is a clean, sterile jar, fully dried. A lot of people use Mylar bags. I'm going to be rehydrating these or reconstituting these for the purpose of this experiment in this video. So it's not going to be long-term storage. I have my oxygen absorbers in there. And I've got my vac sealer with the jar attachment. And we're sealed. So this jar is ready for the pantry. I'll just label and date it. And then here, just to show you how dry these are, here, listen. They're like powder, which is what you want. So they're fully dry, they look good. It's the next day, and I'm gonna open my jar, and I'm actually going to reconstitute all of these because we will eat them for lunch. But if it turns out well, I'm definitely gonna be making more. So because they're cooked, I'm gonna use boiling water to reconstitute them and heat them up, near boiling. And they will only soak up what they need, and then we can pour the excess water off. Gosh, they smell amazing. I will let these sit for a bit and I will bring you back and show you what they look like. It has been about 25 minutes because I was busy doing other stuff. So I'm gonna strain these. There you have it. That's what they look like. So the plain ground beef ones, they're good. They taste just like meatballs. But I think that I definitely should have added egg into these and did a little mixture because the Italian ones are a lot better. But they taste just like beef. And they're going to be great in gravy or sauce, they're going to be perfect. The Italian ones that had milk and breadcrumbs and all types of seasoning, they're even better. Nice and moist. Very, very good. All right, so there you have it. The meatballs turned out amazing. I would definitely really jazz up my recipe instead of just doing plain meat. However, I think that once you put them in gravy or sweet and sour sauce, they will work fine. I just think the texture was a little chewier because it was just beef, whereas the Italian meatballs were absolutely spot on. So I definitely will do this again and do a larger batch, and that'll help me clear out some of my freezer space. So hope you enjoyed this video, and don't forget to check out the description box down below. And thanks for watching. Have a great day. Take care.